Hi everyone, welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. We're working on a little pattern. I kind of call it a hobo bag, but I'm sure it's called many bags. It's very much of a universal thing, and it can be used for obviously many things. And I'm just going to teach you a little bit maybe how to read a pattern. If you're not sure how to read a pattern, we're going to make this one right here. Okay. This was given to me from a friend, and probably in hopes of doing a future weekend project, and I like this one. Actually, I like them all. I cut the piece of paper out for this one down here, and I thought it would actually belong to that one, but it didn't. So anyways, so I guess I'm doing it. So yeah, there's a couple of bags on here. I'd like to also do the traveler one, so that'll be a future weekend project. And I really like the other one too, this one down here, because if you've ever seen those, you know, bamboo hoops or wooden hoops or anything like that, you can use that as your handles to make a really neat kind of cute bag for somebody, you know, even for yourself. So I've made one of these already. I will show you when we get close to being there. And I like it. I really do like it. So when you open up your package of said pattern, okay, or of a pattern, you're going to get a couple pieces of paper. So there is one that I've cut what I needed, which was I'm making bag C, and it tells me via the information sheet. This is an information sheet. I call it information, or Bible, sewing Bible, whatever you want to call it. Whatever comes with the package of the pattern, it helps you to realize what pieces you need for that specific project. Like if I'm only doing bag C, so I only needed 10. But the only pattern I needed to cut out was number 10, okay? So, and same with if I wanted to do the bag D, I only needed to cut out 11. But A is a little bit more complicated. A, it tells you you need 1, you need 2, you need 3, so you need a couple pieces for those. So you'd have to cut those out of the paper first, making sure you accommodate for the notches. Don't cut those off. They're very important. This is a double notch. And then farther down the pattern right here, I'll get it close up so munchkins can see it, is a single notch. And those are important. You need to match those up. So don't cut them off. Make sure you notch out the fabric as well when you notch as you are if you were to, as you're notching out the paper, okay? So very important. Notches and markings, dots, anything like that. It'll tell you on the pattern sheet or information sheet of what you need and what to use, okay? If you like a pattern and you're not sure what to get or what sort of fabrics are suggested for it, right on the back it says usually designed for medium to heavyweight woven fabrics. Suggested fabrics are cotton types, denim, decorative fabrics, canvas, and pre-quilted fabrics. Well, that sounds great to me. That's like the travel bag. I think that would be awesome in a pre-quilted, something that I did up on a long arm Wednesday, maybe some free motion fun, and then I just go and make a bag out of it. So that you'll probably see it in reverse. So long arm Wednesday first, and then a weekend project finishing it up. We've done that a couple of times, so we'll just switch it up around a little bit. So we'll do that in another one, but we're working on this one here today, okay? So it told me that I needed pattern 10, so I went and cut out pattern 10 right next to the solid line, or the line that it is printed out on, okay? I have to say that I love the texture of this sort of pattern than I have with the ones for clothing, because I did a bunch of shirts and a caftan or two, and it's that very flimsy, papery, tissuey paper stuff, and I find that I would prefer all patterns be like this, so thank you, Quick Sew. All right, so you're gonna find on the section here of what you need. It pertains to your project, so we need C. That's all the way over on the outside. It says bag view C right there. So it says stitch starts at the bottom edge of the bag pieces and press towards center of the bag. Okay, so let's move this out of the way, because like I said, that's how they come, and you just trim the sheet right up. But we need one more to cut first, so let's do that first, and then we'll start following the pattern, okay? I had to piece this one because I thought I had enough, but the angle of the pattern piece, this right here, this part right here needs to be on the fold. See, it says fold, place on fold right here. So that needs to be on a fold of fabric, okay? So make sure you're lining that up. I'm coming right down to the bottom because, of course, I'm doing a nice not big stitch, but, you know, in between a quarter to a half seam allowance. So I'm not too worried about that. I got these cute, lovely bird pins. I'm trying to bring spring along. Please come. little birdies. It has been the wackadoodlest weather, but we know that's how Winter likes to send herself out the door. Okay, so this is how you pin. You place it where you want it. You make sure you have enough fabric to cover end to end, okay? That's why I had to piece this, because I make sure I did. But the other three that I have, they're not pieced. So this one's for me, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna actually probably gonna use this in a different couple ways, this bag particularly, because I need one to carry my stop sign back and forth from crossing guard on my bike. Before I had it bungee strapped onto the frame or extra seat at the back sort of thing, because I have kind of like a wagon bike. So it has a little bit of extra piece where I can take a passenger if need be or something like that. So anyways, I was strapping it to there. Well, anyways, if it was bouncing, I didn't particularly like that. So I'd rather it be over my shoulder sort of thing on my back, so I know where it is. You know, it's an expensive piece of equipment. I need it for work. So, and when I take my bike back and forth, I want to make sure that it's with me. So I wanted to make something fun and exciting that I could, you know, carry my stop sign in. Okay. And I plan to use it during the summertime in the garden. I'm going to collect the vegetables that we need and, you know, take anything out there that we need to take out there, you know, that sort of thing. So what I do is I try to pin in the corners. Pin in a way that it's not going to affect your cutting. So don't put your pins all the way over, crossing the line or anything like that, because you're going to cut with the scissors. So come up next to it, you know, give yourself space. You know, you're not going to come in with your scissors and you know, and hurt your scissors by, you know, trying to chop through a pin. Okay. And then just move it around so you get access to everything. Okay. And come all the way up to the top. Hopefully I did piece that correctly. We'll find out shortly. And if you maybe have a longer torso, I would maybe stretch this out a little bit. It's a very simple pattern. I mean, you look at it here, you could probably freehand trace something out. Just make sure you do half and then the other half is the same. I wouldn't do like a whole sort of thing, do it very similar to this. But the idea is perfect. You're making your own little pattern, right? So it tells you this is the shoulder strap, this is the tie, this is the opening up here, this is the opening up here, this is the dart down here, and it says leave open between dots on lining, okay? So when we do our lining, we're gonna make sure, it depends on whichever, you know, you can line, I'm trying to make this as a reversible, so either way. So just pick one of them that you need to leave a space, because you're just gonna turn it right side out that way, okay? Through that spacer, because we're going to sew all this and sew all that, okay? All right, so just pin away and make sure you're comfortable with how many pins are there to keep your project stable so you can cut it out, okay? All right, I think I got everybody, hopefully, right up into there. Okay, cut that. Now get your good scissors. Ooh, I'll just turn this around a bit. Let's start from the top. I found this part almost a little bit easier to do with the rotary cutter because I just kind of went straight down, but I'll just show you how to do it with scissors, okay? And you're not giving any seam allowance. You have to pretty much think that it's giving you the seam allowance. So you're not necessarily going to cut right on that line, but you're going to cut pretty much next to it, because if you cut on the line, you'll end up losing your pattern. So, you know, cut on right next to it with your good scissors, keeping your other hand out of the way. And when you come up to this little double notch here, come up right close to it. And then sometimes it's easier, I'm going to turn the pattern, okay, is to come to the side like this, so you're getting the one side of the wedge of the notch, and then cut it like that, and then do the other side, okay? And those are very important. That's why they're there. You need to match that up, or you're going to end up with weird bands, and they're just not going to sit right. And you know, that gives you points to make sure you're either helping guide the fabric, or you're tweaking the fabric a little bit, like stretching it, or squishing it in sort of thing, so it all stitches within that one section, okay? And hopefully this helps. You know, next time they have the 99-cent sale at the fabric store on patterns, maybe it might encourage you to grab something that you've never really tried before, just knowing that these are just the basic steps. This is just, you know, I'm just doing a bag here, but in every other step, it's the same thing. Like whether I was doing the men's dress shirts, or whether I was doing the caftan, whether it's got 1 piece or 55 pieces, you know, you can do it. Just take it a step at a time and reread the directions, reread the pattern, because sometimes they'll say different things on the pattern and they're not even mentioning it on the instruction sheet, okay? So read, read, read. Once you understand it, then start to proceed. That's the best suggestion, unless you're going to try and do it on a scrappy bit first to understand it. I do that many times. Sometimes I can't get the whole thought process through my head just by reading it. I got to do it. I'm a hands-on kind of person. So, but that's just me, you know. Okay, so I followed that all the way around, and this is important here. You see how I kind of came out just a little bit? I'll show up to Munchkin. That little tippy point there, because that actually gives you the base tip of where you're going to fold this fabric. See how it wants you to make a dart? You're going to fold that fabric, and that little tippy point is going to be important to keep things nice and even, okay? And we are going to mark on the fabric where, you know, this little dart ends sort of thing, right? And we're going to gauge that we need it to be between here and here, sorry, between here and here to stitch down, okay? I know it sounds complicated, but really it's not, okay? Like Pop always says, I make things just a little bit more difficult than necessary. That's just who I am. All right. And I really, really love this birdhouse fabric, so I had to use it. And like I said, the bag is for me, so I don't mind that it's a little bit pieced together, so. Because I think, in a way, we're all kind of just pieced together. I just love the little bird fabric, the birdhouse fabric. Actually, I joined a group on Facebook. It was tiny house blocks. So I haven't made anything yet, but you may see, you know, a couple weekend projects where I'm making tiny houses. Okay, like I said, come all the way up to just before it. And this is another situation where I found it was easier to come all the way from this side to make that nice little sharp edged point that is necessary. Sometimes if you're trying to go this and that, I mean, you end up lopping things off, and, you know, and then everybody's crying, and you don't want no crying tears. Only if there's no chocolate on sale. Okay, there we go. And look that there. Okay, and this can go into the scrappy pile. And there's our piece all cut out, okay? Followed our pattern, we got all our notches, everybody's happy, okay? Well, they should be anyways. Okay, take our pins out. We're gonna need them because we gotta pin the inside together and then the outside together, whatever you're considering the inside and outside, or A and B and C and D or whatever it is. Okay, so we don't need our pattern anymore at this point, okay? I do like this pattern. Like I said, I've already made one bag already just to make sure the template was okay. And, you know, I'm always, like I said, I got a niece who just had a birthday, so I can always send one off to her, or send it off to her. So if she chooses this one, I would give it to her. You know, that's how much I love her. I love all of them. Okay, so now that's put away. We need to get our little information sheet. So I find it easier to block off the section that pertains to me in the project I'm working on. So I'm not getting confused by what's going on side A and what's going on side C. I just really want to know what's going on B, okay? But this is really bag C, so totally making things confusing. Okay, so actually we kind of need that back again. Sorry, I apologize, because we needed to make the dart spaces, or the spots for the dart, okay? So we line it back up. We take our little marker or pencil or said things. Okay, there we go. I knew it was around here somewhere. Okay, and we just kind of, up from the pattern indication of where it wants you to fold the dart, from edge to edge, like these little spots right in here, it wants you to fold towards the center. This is the center of the quilt, or the bag. So used to quilting, okay? So you place that where it needs to be, hold it down, move your finger onto the back side or a pin or the marker or whatever, and then I'm gonna come up to here. So I know, make a little mark, that between this space here and that space there, I line those up, and I come all the way up to wherever I just made that chalky mark, right there. Okay, right there. And so that's going to be my little dart. I'm going to sew from here to here, and that's going to give me the dart that I need, okay? So let's go pinch that. And since we already know what we're doing right now, let's get it under there. So I had a little wrinkle as I had pressed it under. Okay, and then we're going to do that to all of them. You have to do that to the insides and the outsides, okay? So we take and we line up the half again. Okay, line up the little spots here, the little markers. Okay, and we'll turn this over. And of course, you're going to have to mark it. You can see where the lines are. Right here. Maybe pick something that you can really see. And then that's the spot right there in the center at the top of the dart. Okay. And then you fold that spot, this one to this one, and make your little dart. Okay. You can pin it if you want. Okay. And you should try and get them all the same-ish, okay? See, they're gonna look like that, okay? They're just gonna like little extra bits that are tucked in, and it helps form the circular part of the bottom of the bag, right? This part right down here. So those are the little darts right there, those little black things, okay? Right there, just so Munchkin can get in on it, so you know what I was doing. Those are the darts that I just put in, okay? Good? Okay, all right. So now that's one. We'll do the second and the third and the fourth, okay? So just stick with me and we'll just mark them all and sew them all, okay? I just kind of eyeballed it for the first one, you know, because I figured I'm so pro. Not really. But it turned out just fine, so I wasn't too concerned. Okay, so up there, and then let's flip this over, get this one done here. It has that little point tippy part, so as long as you're matching that up with the point tippy part on the fabric, there's really, you can't go wrong, or at least not very wrong. Okay, where's the other one? Over here. Went in the house, so I didn't really see it. Okay, now put your little tippy point all the way up at the top and mark it. Okay, and then we're just going to sew those two spots together. Line up those two lines. Okay, and then it comes to that point where you got your chalk mark. Line it up underneath your machine. Put a pin in if you need. I mean, that's totally up to you. And I'll give you a couple of different ways you can finish off the bag, or at least a couple of ideas you can finish off the bag. Okay, so here and here. Did I get that right? Oh, there we go. There, and where was the chalky mark? Oh, there it is. Okay. It's so confusing. It's almost like one of the little white dots on the other side. Okay. All right, so that's the second one done. It's not really a lot of pressing going on in here. Okay, so there's the second one. It should look very similar to the first one. Okay. Nice and pretty points, you know. All right, so then we're going to do the same on this one, and then we're going to sew some of them together, okay? This one, I might use a little bit of this pink. Sorry. Don't sit on the mic. Don't sit on the mic back. Okay, and this was the other fabric that I chose for the other side of this very cute bag, okay? Right. And it's bright enough that I figure people would see it, you know, not that they'd really miss me on my big orange bike, but... Okay, so we're just gonna mark, put our little fingertip here. Clive was being very destructive earlier, so we put him outside for this filming. And he's protesting against the door. We can hear him, can't we? Yes, we can. Saying, meh, meh, meh. I knew you guys are filming in there. If you want your Clive time, you're gonna have to wait for weekend live stream. So when we're finishing off the yellow. Okay. So like I said, just pinch at that little dot there, match up these two little dots here, and that becomes your dart space. And as long as you're consistent, you should be just fine, okay? I apologize for the scratchy voice. I tried to breathe tea this morning, and yeah, that didn't really work well. And I've had a rough voice all day with, you know, this and that and everything. Yeah, it didn't go well. Not supposed to breathe tea. It's not that it was hot. I went to take a sip and I don't know what happened. You know, I'm sure you know what it is. You're coughing, 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 tears coming down your face. Yeah. Everybody asking if you're okay. You can't even get a breath. There we go. So there's the other one. And then we're just going to pin the last, or mark the last one here, not pin them. And then we'll pin. Okay, so lining up those points. Go back here. They're important. That's what kind of gives you that little, you know, sharp little point there to help make sure you're lining up your spots correctly, getting your darts right on. You know, you could probably not do the darts, but you'll get like, I'm not sure it'd be called a saggy bottom or not, but I'm not sure how it would look. Maybe a little too puckered or something like that, or not quite right. But I'll put the darts in because that's what the pattern says. And, you know I'm rebellious a lot of times, but I'll listen in this case because I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Okay, so that's the last one marked. Now we can put the pattern away. All right. Fold it up because I want to use it again. This would be great if you filled up like a whole, I was going to say like a foundation piece of fabric with scraps and stuff like that. That would be awesome. And then cut that out in the shape, as they were talking about like on the live stream last weekend. Cutting shapes out of animals, like with the crummy quilt stuff, and then cutting the animal shapes out. And I thought that was pretty cool. So, all right, so let's get these last one done. This last one done here. Okay, matching up those two little marks and pinching at the dot right there. And then we'll get the inside put together, and then the outside put together, and then we're going to put them both together. And that's pretty much it. And I appreciate you watching and liking and subscribing. And don't forget to check us out on Patreon. Okay, there we go. Now we got those done. Let's place these two together. Okay, right sides together. This is my right side, that's the wrong side. Okay, and as it said, right here, it said, stitch darts at the bottom, which you did, okay? Number 2, pin bags right sides together at bottoms and sides, matching darts and notches, stitch, okay? But it does want you to press the, towards the center of the bag, okay? So that's towards the center. And that is towards the center. And of course, we're matching up those spots, those dart spots, because we want them to be bang on. And we should be okay with that, you know, with matching up on the bottom there, okay? If we did our darts right, we should be okay on that spot. And we're gonna sew all the way, actually, I think this one was gonna be my inside one, so I was gonna leave a gap. This is where you leave the gap, just big enough to make sure you can turn it right side out, okay? And the bottom of this. But right now, we're gonna sew all the way around on the outside, all the way up to the tippy tip, and we're matching up these notches right here. That's why you make those notches in each bit, so you can match them up later to make sure your pattern is right on. See, comes all the way up to there. Put a pin in, put a pin in, and then when we get to the inside, we'll have to match up the other notches to the outer part of the bag, and then that makes sure that everybody's fit together, okay? And again, we make sure our notches are lined up. Put a pin in there first, and then you can always ease any fabric or, you know, squish in any fabric in between, you know, whatever needs to be done. All right, go all the way up to the top. Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do, show the bag this way. We're gonna sew from this outer edge all the way around to the other outer edge, okay? Let's just move that off to the side, this over here, because as I'm sewing, I don't want things going off the desk, okay? So turn this in a way that I can get to, and I can see, so I'm to make sure I'm doing the outside. When I first did the first bag, for some reason I sewed the half on the inside. I'm like, okay, that's not what I should have been doing. But it's such a, you know, when you think you got it right, and you don't. All right, so do a little back stitch and just go all the way around. I'm just using white thread. Like I said, about 1/4 inch. Oops, should have taken that out first. It's a good thing it didn't hit the sewing needle. 1/4 inch-ish, you know, seam allowance. Just go all the way. Okay. Not necessarily at Mach 22 though. Pop's like, just slow down. Okay, so I want to come up a little bit closer, do a little back stitch, leave that gap to turn it right side out once I get the two pieces sewn together. That should be enough. It's about, I don't know, 5-6 inches, something like that. If you feel you need more than that, then make sure you give yourself more than that. Okay, and then come around the corner. Whoops. I was gonna say it wasn't me, but clearly it was. Okay, so that's all the way around. Oh, make sure you take all your pins out. Okay. All the way around on one side of the bag. Okay, so now you want to do the same for the next one. Okay, so just flop that off to the side. Line these two up. Same as we did the other one. And this one we don't need to leave the gap in, okay? We can sew all the way around. Let's move this one since I moved all the chickies all the way into the other one here. Okay, line that up. Okay, and then we're gonna go all the way around. See, I pinned those up nice and snug and it's just enough room, okay? Now going around the side, I'm gonna match up that double dart first, all the way up here. Gonna match those two little notches out, okay? Those are very, very important. The knot, like I said, the notches, the dots, even some relief cuts. There's, we got some of those going around with the edge of the inside of the corner, to the curve to allow for ease and flexibility of the fabric. Okay. Oh, sorry. Someone's near the door. Might be just the paper girl. Okay, now we're gonna go all the way up to those double notches again, making sure I'm pinning them. Good job, Sophie, good job. You good girl. She did her job. Let me know someone was there. Oh, that's what it was. Someone was loving the cat. And Sophie wasn't getting any. Oh, no. She is now. Munchkin's loving her. Okay, so now we get to sew the outside edge of the second piece. Okay, Now, if you had like a really durable fabric, like a canvas or something like that, I think if you did yourself a nice French seam, you need only one layer. You know what I mean? So that would be, you know, lovely as well, and thick enough, especially for a garden or, you know, there's lots of wild apple trees along a few of the bike trails or walking trail, horse trails and stuff that are around our place that, you know, go up and pick apples. That's why, you know, take it with me as I'm going wherever. I think it'd be very, very handy to have, you know, and make one for the other side. So I got one on each side, right? Okay, make sure those were matched up, those darts, and they were pointing towards the center. And we're just going to go all the way around, not leaving a space because we've already left that on our other piece, the lining or the inside. Okay. Making sure those are going to stay pressed down, even though it's a little pieced on this edge here. Okay. Did I miss it? No, oh, I did. Okay. You can build pockets up on the sides, you know, you can, you know, put lots of little extras into it, you know, if you wanted to. Put a place for your cell phone, build pockets on the inside and outside, you know, so reversible, you still have one in and one out. I'd probably make it like with a zipper closure, maybe even a Velcro or something like that, just to make sure things were going to stay in there, especially as you're, you know, as I am, I'm going to be riding. So, okay, go all the way up. Now there. Okay, make sure all my pins are out. Yes, they are. Okay, now we want to take this one and we're going to turn it right side out. Even this is where we got our little gap where we're going to turn it right. Straighten it out that way. Straighten it out this way. Oops, this one here. That's my winning lotto ticket in there. At least I'm really hoping it is. And then we're going to take this one here. And because the right sides need to be together, we're just going to slip it in. Okay? Just going to slip it inside here. And now we go all the way up to the very corners. Okay, and we're going to pin those. You can split the seams, go side to side, whatever. I just put them side to side, depending on the width of the fabric, okay? And then you're just going to pin all the way around, okay? So, and I just want to make sure we're following the directions correctly. Matching dot, stitch darts to the bottom of the lining pieces and press towards sides, blah, blah, blah. Pin lining pieces, right sides together to the bottom, at bottom and sides, matching darts. Stitch leaving opening between the dots to the bottom. Pin bag and lining, right sides together at opening and shoulder straps. Matching notches, stitch, trim corners, and clip curve seam allowance, okay? So that's what we're doing. We're pinning all the way around from shoulder to the bottom. And this is where those single notches come in handy. This is what makes you know that your inner and your outer are completely lined up, okay? See those little points right there? You got the points on the cream and the tan, or in the points on the birdhouse. You need to make sure those are lined up and pinned, okay? And then go on the other side and pin, and then you're going to have to ease any fabric in between, if there would needed to be any fabric eased or folded or whatever. Now, if you wanted to have, say, like a toggle and a little fabric strap, this would be a good spot to put in. A toggle on one side, a little fabric strap or something on the other, or a snap, or a Velcro closure or something if you just wanted to make sure the top stayed closed as you were going around. So I think I'm okay. I may need to add something later. I need to see how it's going to work first, okay? But this is where you would add it in. You'd find the center spot in between here, and you would add it so it would dangle on the inside, but you were stitching whatever it is that you needed to be on the right in here in that seam, okay? So now we're going to go to the other side and match those little notches up, okay? They're cute little birds for their birdhouse fabric. Just the birdies. At least they're encouraging spring. I can hear them, though it doesn't feel very springy out, so. All right, so match all the way up. Okay. I know it's going to take some time and some pins, but, you know, I'm sure you got the pins. I don't know about the time, though. But it's a nice little, you know, satchel bag, gift for somebody, overnight for the kid. You can be able to stuff everything in there and flop it over your shoulder. You know, frees up a hand. You know, that's sort of great for the market. You know, you're going for a walk along the trail. You want to make sure you got, you know, the doggy bags and treats for you and whatever, right? Pack a lunch, go on an adventure. All right, so let's pin. And of course you can adjust the strap to your torso, right? You know, if you need it longer, you need it shorter, you know, and then of course, longer, of course, you need to add more fabric. Shorter, you can just tie a bigger knot, right? So that's what makes it fun and adjustable that way, right? Okay, we'll put this on this side. So I seem to be pinning on the tree side. Or not tree side, the birdhouse side. All right. Okay, you get the jivvy. You get the jivvy, don't you? Okay, we're almost there. I know it takes some time, but we're almost there. Hold out to the end, it'll be a big reward. I need some chocolate. Actually, Munchkin's done really nice. He made some cookies the other day to make up for the fact that we didn't have chocolate. And then he made Rice Krispies the other day. So we got to start teaching him how to cook healthy stuff and not just sweets. Okay, so pinned all the way around. Okay, you see that? It's all the way around. And then we're going to sew all the way around. So pick a spot and start. Okay. Okay, and that's what it says. Yep, stitch, trim corners, and clip curved seams. Okay. I'm going to start on this some part on just the strap part here. Okay. Oh, we're going to need to put the pins back. Almost there. We're so close. Like I said, I appreciate you sticking around and watching. And hopefully, like I said, this encourages you to maybe try a pattern that you hadn't tried before. You've got one that's been handed down, or you saw it for 99 cents and thought, oh, I'll just grab it and then look at it and go, oh, yeah, I don't know what to do. Well, hopefully this helps. And you can always Google. I'm sure there's always somebody out there who's made that pattern and can help, you know, tweak it or adjust it if you need it. I've done that on a couple of occasions. So just make sure two of your fabrics are lined up. They should be as even as possible. There should be equal portions of each fabric. And I will give you the dimensions or the amount of fabric it had asked for as soon as we're done, so you have an idea of what you're up against, because it does take quite a bit, as you well saw. Unless you're piecing something, then go ahead. I think that would be really, really kind of fun. Oops, I don't think I meant to take that one out. Having one pieced and then you cut it out, that would be really cool too. I thought that was a great idea to use some of those drapery and embroidery, drapery and upholstery fabrics that I had gotten, the discontinued stuff. That would be another thing to piece up and use that. But maybe a softer inner fabric for the inside, but to have that textured, kind of wayward look on the outside, you know, of a magic bag sort of thing, magic carpet bag. All right, We're getting there. We're getting there. We're almost, no, got to go around to the other side. But we're getting there. I wouldn't lie to you. Come here, birdie. And hopefully you can join us tomorrow, where I think I'm going to be trying to finish off my the quilt behind me here. I've got a 5th one already cut and partially sewn together. I just didn't pin it up. And then I'm not sure if we're going to have 5 or 8. Tomorrow will be the deciding factor. Make sure to pivot at the corners, because you want a nice sharp point there. And because you left a hole in one of the bottoms, you sew all the way around, giving that nice clean finish. A little flip, try not to get poked. I just felt the bobbin. Why does it tell I'm checking it? But I guess it just randomly checks it. Or so many stitches it must check it. I'm not sure. Now I did Google for some free satchels and stuff like that. There's a few out there. A couple of them are very much designed like this or a similar style to this, and it's a free PDF download. So just go search them up. You can find them. I'm sure you can. Okay, so it's sewed all the way around. Now we're going to take this through our hole. We're going to try and grab one of our little corners up here first, or little straps. Just going to tuck it into my hand and pull it out. Okay, that's one. And we're just going to do the same with the other one. Go all the way up into divide it first. The strappy part. Okay, tuck it in and then pull it through. And then just be kind of a little gentle with it. Don't want to be too rough. It should be okay as long as you back stitched at your opening. Okay. Now this is where you would seal that up, but I found that you need to poke those corners out first. So with a chopstick or a sharp tool, not sharp tool, but you know, a pointy tool, okay? Make sure you get all the way up there and just get a little poke. Get all the way up there to where you made that little point in the seam, okay? See? And now you can do a fun little decorative stitch all the way around here, or just do a straight stitch, or you can just press it and leave it, okay? So we're gonna do that to the other side. Make sure we have that tippy point and we're happy with it. Okay. Try not to be too rough. You don't want to jab right through your fabric, but you want to make sure you're getting the point that needs to be there. Okay. And as I designated the tan E fabric, or the brown with the dots on it. Okay. We should have done some little relief cuts on the curve, but you get the gist. And then with a little press and sealing that up, you tie one over the other, like a little bow, like that. And you got yourself your satchel, your little hobo bag or whatever. Isn't that awesome? See that over my back with my stop sign in there? I mean, I know where it is. Yeah. And you can even use it like this, tie it a little tighter if you don't like it that it hangs so low. I think it's great. You could, put your knitting in there and, have it come up the side, and you can stand and knit and not have to worry about your ball leaving, or it's just going to roll in your bag or whatever. You can put little slots for your crochet hook. Even this big long part here on the inside, you can put your knitting needles, and would help, instead of having being stabbed all the time. You can come up with so many different ideas for this. So I hope you end up making one. So that's the one I made, obviously, with you guys. And this is the second one I made. Okay. I just had this, I've used it for backing. See, I didn't even sew up the hole yet. I've used it for backing and other bags. So I did that one there. And this is a very soft micropolar fleece black. So tying that up over the shoulder. And this is great. It's adjustable to whatever you need it to be. And if you find one that's perfect, you whip some stitches in there and hold it. You know what I mean? It's perfect. Okay, there we go. So I'm going shopping. Later, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow on the live stream. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.